Good afternoon traders, Joseph here from Eightcap. So we do apologise, we would have done a lot more on really the banking crisis in the US at the moment, but unfortunately we had a day off yesterday for Labor Day, so we didn't do a report. So today's just a bit of a recap and a quick run around as some of the movements we've seen since Friday. So we'll start with the non-farm payrolls. They were interesting. So obviously they weren't as hot as the previous months, but we did see 311k added when 224k was expected. Unemployment actually increased to 3.6% and average earnings actually dropped to 0.2% from the expected 0.3%. So there's a couple of surprises there, but obviously they did have a little bit of an impact. It was you could call it like maybe a little bit of a perfect storm, but really all the focus was on the ongoing banking crisis in the States. So we all know about Sivergate. That's been going on for a while. That had a real impact on cryptos, but with its failure we then saw Silicon Valley. Now that one came on a bit of a surprise maybe, and then today we've seen another bank run conducted, and that was on Signature Bank. So it definitely has been a contagion, and there has been a fair bit of fallout. Now there's going to be a review into this. President Biden has also stepped in, and this has given the crypto market a bit of confidence, and we'll get to that in a moment. We're going to run over just a couple of markets. Sorry we are a little bit late to this, but again, we did have a public holiday yesterday. So at the moment crypto markets, as I said, have recovered, and that's due to President Biden announcing that there's emergency backstop on deposits at struggling banks, and that's giving some support. Now, obviously, really good news is that with Silvergate, it looks like that all investors, or majority of investors, are going to receive their funds back. So that's a very good story. And Silicon Valley also, that issue continues to unravel, but there is a lot of action now from the Fed, from the Fed and from the US government, which is trying to shore up the whole situation. But this didn't really help the Dow. We're looking at the US 30 at the moment, and we can see that that plunge that really kicked off last week as this was occurring. The non-farm payrolls definitely didn't help, and definitely added to some of that selling. But we can see on Friday this bar here. It's sort of if you are into candle patterns, so it does sort of start to take shape as a bit of a reversal bar, and we are seeing a bit of buying today. But we'll get into not really forecasting. Obviously the market is down, but I'm starting to think that possibly we could see a bit of we could see a relief rally tonight with some good news coming into the market, and a little bit of stability coming back in on a very mild tone. So we'll see how that goes later on today. But futures so far, we are seeing futures higher. The Nasdaq futures are higher, the SP500 are higher, and the US 30 are higher. Now the ASX has had another horrible day today, so it finished last week on a very bad note, so over 2%. It has traded down very heavily this morning. At the moment, the ASX is down by 1.65%, but it is off session lows. And if we just take a quick look, we can see. I'll just update that. We can see that buyers are starting to come back into the market, and we can see those two sessions there were just absolutely horrible. Now, part of the reason is that obviously the mining sector is a key sector in Australia, but the banking and finance sector is also a key sector in Australia. And as we saw on Friday, and Thursday, there was a lot of heavy selling on banking stocks due to the worry that's been going on, which is totally understandable. And you can even, bank runs are also understandable as well, as if you were a customer with funds in those types of banks, you would be looking to get your money out as well, and there is no real surprise in that whatsoever. So no massive surprises, but the declines have been huge. It's definitely been we went from a period of quite low volatility, and markets were a little bit stuck at the present. So I remember, if we look at the German 30 for instance, we had this real period here of just range-bound trading, and then we had this real acceleration down to the downside as the worries, and you can see that pattern here, as the worries really came to surface around what was going on in the banking sector in the States. So we will be looking tonight to see how things fare. I've personally been looking for a bit of a relief rally with action now starting to happen, and we will have to have a look at some of the markets that really jumped. The US dollar was absolutely, was really smacked around for a few sessions, so we can see that those moves down here. And on the other side of the scale, we saw gold jump. I mean, really jump. And Friday's session was a real strong session, and that was really just gold returning back to safe haven status, with people really worrying about where to have their money. With stocks and the dollar going down, a lot of people just jump straight back into gold, and we can see that reflected here in its price. Silver also is seen as another market like that, and we can see exactly what happened on Friday, as everyone was really trying to find somewhere to a hedge, really, to find to where to put their money for a bit of safety. Now, we won't keep this video too long. We want to just have a look at some of the crypto markets. So obviously crypto markets were absolutely punished when Sivergate was going on. Silicon Valley definitely was a later occurrence, but we can just see how quickly things have turned around. Bitcoin adding over 21% in 3 sessions, and we can see here in Ethereum as well. I was looking at Ethereum this morning, absolutely amazing rally. And with the surety coming back in, and with some security coming back in over deposits, with President Biden's comments, I think that now crypto buyers have definitely come, obviously they've definitely come back into the market, and things are looking a lot more stable. The 2 key markets are really Bitcoin and Ethereum. I did hear about BUSD this morning through Binance, so we have seen Binance move up as well. But some of the other bigger, the bigger coins in the top 10, top 15. For instance, Solana, we have seen movements, but there haven't been anything really close to what we have seen on Bitcoin and Ethereum. And Avalanche is another one. We have seen this really strong move, but the decline preceding that was rather savage, and we're yet to see some of that real feverish buying that we saw on some of the other coins. And Canando is another in a similar position. So anyone really in trading or holding Ethereum or Bitcoin who held through that decline here, obviously you'll be feeling a lot better about things right now. And I think now for Ethereum, I think with confidence back in the market, we may see a bit of a pullback. That's a really strong move. It's to yesterday, Monday's high, when all that that real strong leg up yesterday. That's it's just over 19%. Bitcoin is 21%. If we do see a pullback, we'll just be looking to see if this resistance here can be broken, and that's really that level that we've been watching for a while. And if we can see a break above this level, we're looking for the market to continue higher, and we're looking for this trend to continue on. So we don't, obviously we've seen Silvergate, that's come, it's gone. Obviously there's still fallout from that, but then we've obviously seen a contagion, but we've seen a step in from the US President himself. An inquiry now going into what's going on with the whole situation here, with a bit of stability now back in the market. Maybe that's the foundation we needed, and we may, who knows, we may see a test, possibly a break of those levels, and then we get to see this trend here continue. So the US 30 things aren't as clear as that. The Nasdaq definitely looks a little bit better at the moment. I wouldn't, we'll just see if we can get a bit of a relief rally, and then a new higher low to sort of signal some sort of buy turnaround. If we look at the NDX 100 at the moment, we can see that things are currently a little bit more sure about themselves. We have this support here that was stopped there, and we've seen buying start to pick up, and we're seeing a little bit more buying today, but we would like to see a strong session tonight, just to see prices push back up and then shore up that level and really start to confirm it as support. 11.883, 80, whichever you like. That's sort of this demand area just here that would be looking to become something a little bit more, and then maybe start to produce a bit of a rally. So we are still looking for this rally here to hold firm. It's not even at the 50% point of that pullback. It was close on the low on Monday, and we'll just see if we can get a rally going. Sorry, I keep getting my days mixed up after having a holiday yesterday, so but please excuse my mix-ups. So the other one is gold. Now, gold's obviously seen a real strong move higher, and that's really due to itself being a a safe haven. So we are seeing a bit of a pullback today, which is not too surprising after the the 3 sessions we have seen. So continue to see what happens with that. I think as well with the US dollar, that will maybe have some effect to it, and also people may look to take profits if the situation continues to improve and if we continue to see further support coming in from the US government as well, shoring up the situation with the banks. Obviously they don't want this to spread any further, and obviously we've seen a contagion. It has hit a couple of banks. 2 banks have they've closed, so they will not want this to continue to spread and undermine the financial system and the surety of of a bank. So people always have money in the bank, you think it's as safe as a house. So that's the general thinking. So I'm sure that they're going to do what it takes to shore that up. And as that plays out, it will be interesting to see how gold traders react to that, with basically that fear and worry being potentially being removed from the market. And it may also hopefully it's going to be continue to be a good thing for crypto, and it will re-energize equity stocks, and we'll see some buying on equity stocks. But for now, definitely it looks like the NDX 100 looks to be faring a little bit better, and the SPX 500, which is a bit of a mix because it has some tech component, but it also has a very heavy non-tech component. It does look okay, but it is looking more like the Dow at the moment, so we'll continue to have a look at that one as well. So very interesting times. Obviously the ASX was absolutely carded due to this. We'll have to keep an eye on that one as well, and see if things do continue to pick up with confidence. Will we see some strong buying on the ASX in the future as well? But also on the other side of the coin, be aware of any future negative developments. Obviously higher NFP figures, that also continues to push worries about the US economy being a little bit too hot. And then we're going to get on, that leads us to the last thing we want to discuss today, and that is tonight's US CPI data. So that's coming out. There has been a change in time actually, so let's check that out. So it's 11:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time locally, but it's still that I assume, I hate to say I assume, but it's usually 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. But if that has changed, please don't hang me for that. Now, so what they're looking for is the CPI data month on month to come in at 0.4%, yearly to come in at 6%, down from 6.4%, and the core CPI to come in at 0.4%, as was the last figure, 0.4%. So looking for a slightly lower CPI data, core data to stay the same, and they're looking for a drop in the CPI data year on year. So if we do see any upside surprises there, that should help the dollar. It may hurt equities, and it may also hurt crypto, and which could in turn also accelerate any profit taking we're seeing on gold. So that's I'll wrap it up there. Thank you very much for your time. Again, sorry about we didn't get more info out about this yesterday. As explained, we had a day off, so better late than never, as they say. So have a fantastic Tuesday. Make sure you tune into that CPI data. If it comes in lower than expected, we should see some good things. But if it does come in higher than expected, continuing on with some of the the worries and a little bit of the fears in the market at the moment, it probably most likely won't help stocks. But we will see what happens with that data later today. So as always, if you are enjoying our content, please feel free to subscribe. We do have different presenters most weeks, so there's always something fresh coming out. So thank you again. I wish you a great Tuesday, and again, thanks and good trading, and bye for now.